All right.
Welcome everyone. Today, a very, very special stream, and I'm going to cut by this point. If you are watching this in recording and you started from here, know that your experience have been improved significantly because you didn't have to live through everything that happened before this. But at this point, we welcome you officially to our tea party, or what is it? I don't even know how to call this. But we've spent a day with Brandon. Brandon is absolutely amazing.
It's true.
So
I am.
we actually have a thing with Brandon. I'm gonna link this in the chat. This is Brandon's Buy Me a Coffee page, and this will become relevant just a little bit later. We're gonna come back to it, but I'm gonna pin this Buy Me a Coffee page for Brandon that you can get. Then you can support Brandon on it. Otherwise, you're very welcome. So in this stream, as you know, guys, we talked a lot about the fact that I don't really have a format. So I decided, so we're gonna do just our like a tea party here. We talked with Brenda today, so I think it's a great time to talk with you. So we're gonna be taking in your questions. We're gonna be discussing it with Brandon. We're gonna see what he's doing, how he's doing, and so on. And just if anyone there is that don't know who Brandon is, can you just say a couple of like phrases just to introduce people, know who you are, and how did you get, and where are we?
Well, where are we? We're in your kitchen, Georges. Thanks a lot, really, for having me here.
For sure.
Um, I'm a combat medic in Hospitalers Medical Battalion, and that's a volunteer on paid battalion with the Ukrainian Army. I I served almost 13 months with our battalion. I am still serving in our battalion. I left I left Ukraine for the first time after about 13 and a half months. It was the 19th of April. So that brings us right now. We're just about the month mark, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I had some personal matters to sort out. I live in Sweden, but I thought to myself, what could I do not in Ukraine?
There are people saying happy birthday to you.
Thank you. You're about 20 days late. I just been late.
20 days is like
About,
the same.
it's the same thing, really. It is. How long is it in your country that people can still socially wish each other Happy New Year? Is it
Happy New
about
Year.
15th,
Probably
third
15,
week?
like like third week
Yeah,
is still
you know.
acceptable.
Um, I've basically been on a tour. This would be about the 20th engagement, if you want to call it, with magazines, newspapers, television, YouTube collaborations. So we've been to Estonia, different places in Sweden, in the UK, and just yesterday we arrived to come see you.
Yeah. People asking, are you Irish?
No, I'm not Irish. Next question.
Nice.
Uh,
But firstly, like let's say hi to Ali. I'm pretty sure she's watching.
Thank you very much for everything you've been doing to help Ali, and I hope you recover as soon as possible.
Yeah. And remember, guys, if you want to ask questions so we can read it, because there's a lot of conversation, write at Ukraine Matters with 2 words, and then it's going to get highlighted for me, and then I can read it through. So, and we have a new member. His name is Niels. Welcome to Brother in Arms, Niels.
Hi, Niels.
So, how's been your day so far, and how do you find Denmark? And do you feel a little bit refreshed after your trip in Ukraine? And are you planning coming back?
Yeah, in 1 month I will return. Uh, Probably a week in Kiev because it always ends up that way. Um, what's going to happen? I'm returning with thermal scopes. I've started a fundraising platform. I've successfully raised money for over 100 diesel generators. Just last week, I met in person our radio supplier. I buy Motorola VHF radios, and they come from a volunteer who actually flies from Manchester to Poland, and he delivers very specific things for me, radios. But we met the supplier the other day, and soon I can do a YouTube video I'll upload all about that experience. It was really eye-opening because we're not their only Ukraine customer. This is a radio company, professional radio company. They've been in business for 30 years. 30 to 40% of the business now is Ukraine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Ukraine related. And they told me all about how it's affected the supply chains, right from Motorola in Malaysia to all around the world. Okay, so it's given me, I knew about it, but now I know the specifics. The supply chain disruptions in Ukraine because of the war. Next week, I'm on my way, shouldn't spoil it, to Rotterdam to meet MSS Defense. As I've switched from generators that come from Germany, radios that come from the UK, I'll probably continue to buy those. I'm now buying thermal scopes for rifles and night vision. So far, we purchased about 51,000 euros of those items.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah. And anybody who's interested, it just so happened, I only found this out last week. Sophie, who actually is our sales rep for Radio Trader in England, her husband's Ukrainian. Our sales rep at MSS Defense, her name is Svetlana, and she actually comes from Irpin originally.
Yeah, it's near Kiev, right?
Yeah. So if anybody knows about what happened in Irpin, Svetlana treats us really good and gives us favorable prices. Yeah, it's been great, the support I've received abroad from people such as yourself.
It's great to hear. So let's keep it up, guys. Let's continue giving more support and love to Brandon. Buy him a coffee. At least that's something that's very important. There is quite a good question here. Is it safe to visit Western Ukraine for people to come?
I don't see why not. There's a man, David, he actually purchased a thermal scope for me directly from MSS Defense. You can do that if you don't want to give cash. That's not a problem. It's just as easy.
Wait, there are people that don't want to give cash and like just buy stuff and
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure how to feel about that. One man named Alan Clegg, he wouldn't mind being outed. He's British. We gave him the details to the suppliers. Radio Trader, you can Google them. Just tell them it's for Brandon. You can purchase a radio, and the supplies come over to me generally about once a month, so I can just stay there and wait there. That's Radio Trader in outside of Liverpool. Easy enough to Google. MSS Defense, a man named David from New York, has a Ukrainian wife. He purchased a 25mm thermal scope for me. So that will go over eventually. Okay, it can just sit there safe till in 2 to 3 weeks time we can get it.
yeah.
I'll go visit them. That's I'm really looking forward to that, to meet them in person. So we just continuously raise money and for what we can buy when we can buy it.
Yeah.
You can go to Western Ukraine. I got sidetracked. I got thinking about David. He's actually in Lviv now.
Oh.
That's why I thought to mention him.
Yeah.
He's visiting his mother-in-law.
So like Lviv and like western part is totally safe.
I don't see why not. There's certain areas in inner city America or even here in Denmark
That's more dangerous. Yeah.
yeah. One woman I met the day I left, I was in, I don't know what to call it, I think it's called Pretzel Town or Przemysl in Poland. She approached me and she was from Australia. She was going to Lviv that day and she asked me, we were going opposite directions, is it safe? And I didn't want to sound condescending. I think you're going to be quite fine, love.
Yeah.
She actually kept my contact details. She sent me an email, told she was only there for 5 days, told me she had a lovely time.
Yeah, Lviv is nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Did you bring Masa with you?
No, Masa is not here. Masa stays in Sweden.
Z. Lauriel asks what was the final tally on.
That's Masa, my dog.
You need to show it closer to the camera.
There's my beautiful Masa, if you can see it.
Yeah, I think it's saw. But yes, the final tally on the gathering for a truck for a sniffing brigade, we got just over 16,000 euros.
Well done.
Yeah, it was very nice. Like, I mean, all cheers to the supporters in chat. So we're working out with the way. I think the next kind of campaign that will be on this channel will be to support Brendan's initiative. I know you, because we talked today and you talked about the fact that you can help support and gather more stuff, more money for the night scopes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a great initiative, and I believe he needs 20,000 to more to help out. We'll see what we can do.
Well, we can talk about those
But
goals.
I'll sort out the details to make sure it's right and correct, and I'll address you guys in the coming streams about how we can help our brand and help track it and so on, and make it cool for you as well. Why are you called the Canadian Easter Bunny?
I don't know why people call. I've read that in the comments a couple times. Maybe because I just keep going and going. I don't know. What's Easter Bunny give you? It gives you chocolates, doesn't
The
it?
chocolate eggs or something?
Oh,
Yeah.
I give generators, thermoscopes, radios. I suppose that would be like that's as good as chocolate in Ukraine.
Yeah. Jaga Jaga. Thanks, Mark.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah, Mark. It's 100 Canadian, also Canadian.
Well, thank you very much.
Where else in North America will you go?
Okay, so Saint Volodymyr's is a Ukrainian cultural institution beside University of Toronto. I'm doing a presentation there. It's on their website, June 2nd. For anybody who's Canadian, I actually have an interview coming up with Peter Mansbridge. So if you're from Canada and you don't live under a rock and you're over 30, I'm very excited about that. My family's very excited about that. Peter Mansbridge, because you have no idea who he is, he did the national news every night, Monday to Friday, for probably about 30 years. He was the anchor man.
I'm pretty sure he's like super famous.
Well, he's white, but for a Canadian, he's got that voice like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
You know who it is. So that's been a big help. The CBC London, the foreign correspondence team has helped me so much arrange interviews with them and a program called The Current. So that's with Current Affairs. Those are my only engagements so far there, but apparently more are coming now that they know I'm coming. But mainly just Toronto, possibly in the province of New Brunswick where I grew up. I feel kind of I have two minds of that, but we'll see how that goes.
Zilla Royalt, why do people continue donating by the super chats if YouTube takes 40% of that? We don't know. But mostly because it's convenient. But both Brandon and I have Buy Me a Coffee pages. Today, we should specifically go to Brandon's page to make sure he gets his donos. But yeah, obviously, it's just super chats. If people have messages that I want them to read, so I read them for sure. But yeah, obviously, it's a very valid point that super chat. Obviously, if you want to support us, better do it directly to Buy Me a Coffee. Or that would be the best part.
So far, the Buy Me a Coffee, that money doesn't go to me.
It doesn't?
It accrues into a pool.
Yeah.
We had a bit of an issue with it. My Ukrainian bank account would not accept such a large transfer. It was at $27,000 at one point there. What we did was very good. Max and Pasha use it on the flashback as well.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing with that money, I transfer that directly to a trusted supplier. So like Radio Trader, it's British pounds they take, but they were so accommodating. I transferred everything I had, and then we'd see what the currency conversion was, and we worked backwards on basically how many radios I could buy for what they received.
Yeah.
And we bought 2 weeks ago, we bought 52 Motorola VHF radios, R7 models.
Oh,
That's the most, I've never bought more than 40 before. So that was, yeah, but Buy Me a Coffee adds up. The next purchase, all the money will be going to MSS Defense.
yeah, but the money still is being used. It's not that it's like that weight.
It just stays there, but it doesn't actually go to my account. Whereas with PayPal, I can transfer to my account or to your account or another volunteer.
Sure.
So I'm quite happy with Buy Me a Coffee right now because it's really good to let that money accrue for larger purchases in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't send that to a supplier I don't know, though, because those are very large purchases.
Sure, but I know not everyone has a PayPal.
No,
it's definitely. But anyway, are you going back to the same part of the East Front, or do you plan to stay with new unit, new area?
Well, I think the best work I've done so far would probably be with 36th Brigade in Avdiivka direction, and I'm invited back. I'm very privileged. In Hospitallers Battalion, our teams work on rotations for 1 month, 6 weeks, but they often don't have a choice. I guess I have foreigner's privilege because I'm what you call a breadwinner. So I more or less get to go where I want.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to Avdiivka.
Nice. Starsky, by the way, is in chat.
Oh, you?
So hey, Andrew.
And
By
there's
proxy, there it is.
one of a
Big
gigolo.
hugs to everyone in the chat. I'm running away to get some sleep, but we'll see you soon later. Hugs to Georgie and Brandon too, my gigolo bros forever.
Andre, what do you think? We have another gigolo? We have another one?
Oh, that was a whole thing.
Give a hug to Futch for me.
Yeah, nice little tap. Aussie T, thanks for 20 bucks. I appreciate it. And Niels gifted 10 subs. Not just subscribed himself, but also gave away. Slava Ukraini, for sure, my friends, for sure. How about buy me a tea? We have our tea right here.
Here, I'll top you up there,
Yeah.
Georges.
Oh, thank you so much. Greetings from Transylvania, Romania. Slava Ukraini, and God bless all who help and stand for these people.
Oh, Romania. Mulțumesc.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, thank you for everybody who's joined us here so far.
Like people are asking, really, it's like, have they been inviting me to the traveling gigolo club?
All right, so you don't really know about that, do you?
I know some of it, like some of that thing just kind of caught up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, today you were really subtly hinting that we need to get our own boat for that.
No, what it was, anybody who's curious, you know when you see a Lada, now there's a square Lada, and it's the most iconic Lada. It's called a Zhiguli. And I couldn't say Zhiguli for about a year. And I called it Gigolo once. And I was filming a video with Max and Pasha in Konstantinivka. They have the channel The Flashback. I worked with Max in October. That's how I met Starsky eventually. But we're filming a video, Gigolo, and not a Giguli. And I said, maybe you can be a Gigolo after the war. So basically what's come of it, and it's not that silly, because I mean, what are you willing to do for Ukraine?
Yeah,
I'm sure your wife, if it's for Ukraine.
I mean, yeah, like when the war is over, what do I do? Like I'm covering war here, but I might as well just work as gigolo.
Well, I want to work a stable of gigolos in Las Vegas, you know, so there'd be women, yeah, like a horse, like a stable. And basically what it is Ukraine war heroes, because I hear from so many women nowadays, where are all the good men these days? You know, well, Ukrainian war heroes, and for a fee, and a large percentage of that will go to the rebuilding of Ukraine, you can have a night with Starsky. You can have a night with Pasha. You can have a night with Georges.
Yeah, and yeah, guys, I know that the stream is a bit weird and laggy and so on. It's just the way we're gonna do.
The Gigolo files.
This is the PC. Unfortunately, it's dying completely, and it's not powerful enough. I stole it honestly from my wife. So
it's true. She's a lovely woman from Chernihiv.
Yes. So, but because in my studio we just wouldn't fit. It's a small place, and there is no place for tea there. It would be. I mean, maybe once we know each other with Brandon just a little bit closer, then we can sit and hug and so on. I'm still waiting on Brandon's OnlyFans.
Oh my God, is anybody going to ask anything serious on here? Gigolos?
Not on my channel, Brandon.
Do they
Brandon,
never?
Not on my channel. My channel is special. We all support Ukraine, but
yes,
we do understand that it is absolutely horrific what is happening. You know?
Of course.
But we're trying to remind ourselves that the life still goes on, but we must continue supporting Ukraine, because while all people in chat are having fun and saying,
and so
the same people, I am pretty sure, and like I'm watching you, that they're going and every week they're sending an email to their local representative, because we agree that if they cannot donate, they cannot help out, then at least, like, you know, they put some kind of pressure on
their member
local,
of parliament.
Yeah, member of parliament, your local representative. You know, an email a week can make big difference. We already see that happening. Remember, guys, when we started half a year ago, I told you, do that. And then we started getting pressures, and the politicians started, okay, let's send more stuff to Ukraine. Let's send more stuff to Ukraine.
I like it.
Because, like, you know, not everyone is having disposable income. Like people
Of
might be
course.
students, people might be in debt. You know, I've been in very difficult positions in my life. So, but sending an email doesn't cost you a lot,
Nope.
but really helps, and it all builds up. So a lot of these people, they might be having fun, but we have our moments of seriousness, like when we have serious discussions. But so
No, I
don't,
certainly appreciate
yeah.
that.
So don't think that we're just shits and giggles here. We're actually supporting Ukraine here
Hello,
with a
Heinrich.
little bit of a smile.
Thank you, Heinrich.
Heinrich, hope this little bit helps towards your efforts, Brandon. Your inspiration, I will send you over. Thank you for donating to me, but I will send it over to Brandon. Don't worry. Your inspiration to many people and a great friend to a rare few people we all love. Slava Ukraini.
Heroin Slav.
This one we read. Donna, hey Brandon, I gave PayPal and buy me a coffee today. Thank you for all you do to help Ukraine, and Jaga Jaga to Leaf Spring Army people. Yay, Leaf Spring Army.
Thanks, Donna. We've corresponded before. I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate a lot of people's patience. It's hard for me to correspond with a lot of people. I think we talked about this earlier today. If it's any, oh, hello, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew Mercado also here.
We're gonna do a stream at a later date when we're in similar time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for everyone's support. I have a limited bandwidth mentally, but a lot of the people who've supported me for a long time, if they do write to me, they write very brief messages, like almost point form. Like I've killed my own algorithm on my YouTube. I've asked people, if you agree, just write plus plus, like a Ukrainian.
Yeah.
But the algorithm doesn't
Everyone
take it
who
that.
supports Brandon, can you write 2 pluses in chat right now?
Yeah.
If you don't write 2 pluses in chat, you don't support Brandon. That's a test for you. So 2 pluses in chat.
But that's one thing I've learned in Ukraine. Pleasantry second, but to state your business.
Yeah.
It's really been, and I think more people that stay with us long term, over the long run, they know that we're only human beings and we're subject to our own failures.
Yeah. Yeah, people say that we keep wiggling. It's fine. But yes, how is the morale at the front lines? People are asking. That's a good question.
I never really know how to answer that one. And what is the front line? Because I generally
Like
I generally work about 2 kilometers back, like on
yeah,
a,
is
on a
2
waypoint.
kilometers counts as front line? For me, it does. For
Yeah.
me, it does.
Well, everybody always smiles at each other. I mean, we have enough to eat. As long as we have enough food and we have enough cigarettes,
Yeah.
Some days are worse than others. But it just occurred to me, I'm editing one of my videos right now. A lot of the more brutal stuff that gets the views, I won't post that for about 6 weeks or so. And it just occurred to me, we're zipping up a body and we drop him off, and then it seems not even a half hour later we're joking, we're laughing,
Yeah.
we're singing. So how is the morale? I don't know. That sounds like a very abstract question. Not trying to be evasive.
Yeah. How do you feel? There was a good question. Wait a second. Very good question. Like, do you feel, it's Tom, I'm going to rephrase it, Tom. It's like, how do you feel knowing that Russians know you and you might be a target? You and the people you feature and so on, that you might be hunted by Russians or something like that. So that you're not known to the Russian military.
I guess it's a price you pay. Some people, some of you be quite familiar with Track a Nazi Mercenary on Telegram. Now, I'm not much for braggartism. Look who I am, look what I do. But I will say there's a lot of people who do a fuck ton less than me, and they'll message me and say, look, I'm on the Nazi mercenary list, like it's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that. And in reality, the man who started Track a Nazi Mercenary is not pro-Russian at all. He's a British boy from somewhere in the south of England, and it was made as a satirical writing. Now, well-written satire, it's a British art form, and I don't mean to insult Canadians or Americans because it's a very sensitive topic that they don't get British humor. And they're very well written satire, like a mild sarcasm. But it seemed to me people around the world have latched onto that page with vile hatred. But he writes those as a satire.
Yeah.
And I know that, and she's going to get upset at me because he's a lonely man. And he writes to my friend Rebecca Mashayowski because she's a very beautiful girl in Ukraine. So there's a lot of haters out there. But in reality, I think a lot of them are in their mom's basement. Okay, somewhere in the Midwest. In reality, what you're talking about, though, I'm probably safer in Ukraine. I'm probably safer in Donbass on the right side of the line. I have a friend of mine, Niels. He lost the use of his legs in Bakhmut. He's a Swedish volunteer medic.
Yeah.
He's received threats in the mail. He's received in his mailbox 5.45 rounds. I told you about that earlier today.
Yeah, just recently.
Now, I don't know where somebody gets that caliber round in Sweden. You'd have to make an effort, but that's very childish. That's the worst he's seen. So I don't think Putin will be sending FSB agents to poison me with ricin on London Bridge anytime soon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just be sure when putting your underwear on.
Everybody's
There's
day.
some Novichok in there.
Everybody's day comes.
Cats, thanks for £10. Appreciate it. Plus UA.
Plus. Thank you.
Plus. Andrew decided to ask, what was Brandon's inspiration to start documenting his time in Ukraine on video? Was it Starsky that gave you the video?
He gave me a GoPro, but I don't have the technological know-how, so I film it. Full discretion on your donations. I did buy a newer iPhone because it has 256 gigs of memory, and the one with 64 just didn't work for our work.
We already get some action film today, so be on the lookout on Brandon's channel.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the mods will link your channel.
I never wanted to document anything. I thought there was a humility in anonymity. During the Battle of Kiev, there was one pub open, the Buena Vista, right by the Intercontinental Hotel. And there was a lot of people in there who just couldn't wait to talk to reporters. Don't quote me on that. And he's full of shit. The second month of the war, I bought my armor plates. I bought a set of Kevlar plates, and they were $1,000. And that really took a big chunk out of my $7,000 budget. So I was inspired by a man called Chris Garrett, Bring Me the Swampy on Instagram. And he was already a famous volunteer. He had volunteered in the old war as an explosives ordnance disposal volunteer. So I thought I'd start an Instagram, and it was only because we were trying to buy helmets, but I didn't see how successful it would become. Thanks to Johnny FD on YouTube, he shouted me, and he was my second donor. The first one was a man from Florida, James, $50. Johnny donated $2,000 on my second day on Instagram. That's what kickstarted the whole thing.
Nice.
I never started a YouTube until June or July. I never would have thought it'd turn into what it has.
Well, it's turned out to be an amazing start, because there's so much love for you in the chat. Like, there are so many like plus.
I recognize many of the names.
It's like John C saying plus. Roman.
Yeah, that's Roman. Oh, cheer, bro. He's been actually supporting me probably since my first month on Instagram. Yeah, and it's I have to take care of my mental health, and people respect me enough. I can't be corresponding anymore with, but like, you remember what we were talking about today? Like, it sounded a bit silly, but maybe after the war blows over, you, me, Starsky, a whole bunch, we'll get a big cruise ship, and we can all go. They got Star Wars cruises. They've got everything nowadays. We could have a Paramoy cruise. Yeah, like 2,000, 5,000 people fit on a fucking cruise ship. Why couldn't we
It's
have,
like I'm pretty sure we can fill a couple of cruise ships
you
here.
know, Roman could come, Ali could come, Marcus, one of my from Germany, who always supported me. I mean, probably half of them are in here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Jennifer is also plus plus.
Yes,
Thank you.
again, always has my back and
Yeah.
forgives me for saying bad words on my.
Oh,
I'm quicker to edit out other people's character flaws in my YouTube videos than my own.
Kellen is doing $100, and thanks so much on behalf of my four boy Mohawk to the Massa Brigade. Plus plus.
Thank you,
Nice.
Slava Masa.
And I'm gonna also ask a question from Kellen because it was also on the list. How long does it take to evacuate a wounded from frontline to stabilization point?
That's impossible to answer. There's a million different factors. My last night of work in Avdiivka, I didn't actually evacuate anybody. We had 11 people. They were all stable. One lost an eye, but the rest were all concussions we waited for. And it was determined they would come out on the BMP. We had a BMP 1 that would lug in the ammo after the Russian attack for the night. So we waited 3 hours for them. There's other times where you have to race forward. There's a million different scenarios when you say how. Depends where you are. East Bakhmut, for example, there was one M113 at the top of the hill, but then the last stabilization point around that time was in Chasiv Yar. That's not far on a map, but that could be hours away. When we had the hospital at the bottom of the hill in Bakhmut, if nothing's popping off, you could be taken in a soft vehicle, a 4-wheel drive. You could be at that stabilization in 15 minutes. Yeah, like 15 minutes from getting pulled back. It's yeah.
Well, there's right now 1,150 people that are enjoying this bobbling head video.
Really?
So despite everything, despite the technical difficulties, we're still going on. So if you can power through this, just know that we still love you. JC, the music man, asks a very good question. What's the contextual meaning of plus plus?
Plus plus. Okay. My next YouTube video, there's a lot of radio chatter in it. I do not speak Ukrainian or Russian. I understand some Russian. Plus means positive. Minus means minus. Plus plus means acknowledged. Like quite often when a Ukrainian, they don't say affirmative or like Americans on a radio, it's plus plus. Did we hit the target? Plus plus. So it's very, very common in our radio chatter. Is that drone Ukrainian? Minus. Boom, 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 boom. Do we have a drone in the air? Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just simplifies conversation. It's just
Very
like
much.
convo talk. Plus plus from Tel Aviv. Thank you so much for 35.9 shekels.
Manishma.
Interesting question, but I want to turn this in kind of a statement. Travis asks, the fighting spirit of Ukrainians is so important. Can we get a story about if you witnessed about the fighting spirit in your person or heard something about Ukrainian military or civilians? And I think, like from what I've heard from the military, is that a lot of the militaries, they see this more as like a job to be done, like, and they have like this kind of everyday grind attitude rather than like a charge into battle, like I don't know, yelling Slava Ukraini and so on. And you mentioned something like this as well, that Slava Ukraini is mostly like kind of to support your like the back line,
Yeah,
the
that's for the
people at the
rear.
back, the rear, yeah.
Yeah, since I've been away, I've learned that there's a whole aspect of Ukrainian. There's been a Ukrainian cultural renaissance in Europe and elsewhere. I just come from visiting family in Liverpool. There was the Eurovision with a mild Ukraine theme, and someone said to me, "How come you don't know about these birds, Brandon? This is the bird for this oblast, oh that one." Purely academic person, I said, "I don't know about that." I can't sing the national anthem, but many people can. Nobody says Slava Ukraine. It's I think it's a thing in the rear. But one thing I get a feeling of, it's a job that must be done, like you say. Nobody's making great philosophy about it. Um, it's just simply do your job. One of my friends from Kiev, Teoborona, territorial, he deployed a couple months ago, his whole battalion. Only 100 of them had ever seen combat before in the Battle of Kiev. And his commander had the sense, he let him come with me for the day to Luhansk Oblast. I know all the roads, I delivered a generator. And he was talking about it in a sense like, wow, the war is going to be a great experience. I'm going to meet friends here and have bonds for the rest of my life. And I was looking, he was not a man that's seen war. Um, Unfortunately, that battalion was pulled out due to having 20% casualty rate in the first week. They're now on the Belarusian border, actually training and learning. But I don't think of this as fighting spirit. I think of it just, that's the job, plus minus. But I also think at the same time, that's very important, this Slava Ukraine culture in the rear, because that's why a lot of Ukrainians give their paychecks up every month. They're a great proportion. People in Kiev, people in Lviv, so many IT workers. Do you know how many remittances we receive? I couldn't even imagine people sending money from Europe, Ukrainians and non-Ukrainians. Yeah, words don't count for much when you're bleeding out, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm sorry to say.
But it helps us in the rear to also do our part because it's a common effort and
Of course.
like the most important thing, as I said, like for myself, like I'm fully acknowledging that I am like a person in the rear. So I'm not trying to pretend that I'm this frontline worker and so on, and then that I know how it is there. I don't, but we're trying to do the best we can. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like with all true heart and passion, they want to support and do what they can.
But there's a sense of solidarity too. For example, more and more people are becoming comfortable with the social media. Like when good donation, I don't mean to say anyone is bad, but if a car shows up, as much of the squad tries to be present in that, and maybe even sometimes they're sending pictures back to the organization, because those organizations get money, like how you supported Sniffing Brigade.
Yeah.
I worked with 53 Brigade. I've seen one of their vehicles. It was an Isuzu truck, a good truck, So like it's a big war. Don't expect me to see all of them. I don't really care where it comes from, but I'm damn grateful that it comes.
Yeah.
Also, one thing about that solidarity, a lot of packages. I can speak on the med points. When aid pack comes, a lot of children are drawing pro-Ukrainian pictures. I've never seen one of those thrown out on any point ever. They all get put up on the wall. And when we move position, those get packed up and taken.
Yeah.
So that's really, and those are kids drawing pictures in school that they give to the organizations. So when you open up a box, quite often you'll see like a child has drawn a picture. Yeah.
Nice.
That is really nice.
We have a picture like that Natalia got, like when she was helping some of the refugees. She went actually in person to the Polish border to help people.
Talking,
Yeah. And she got a drawing for that helped her for like it was about a girl from the Kherson Oblast.
Yes.
So it was very interesting to see that we have still this drawing that from a girl, like a young girl that is from Kherson, and now Kherson is finally liberated. So
children are sacred in all cultures, but especially in Ukraine.
Yeah. Yes, Inga, thank for sure. Roman's alive, saying, I think cruise with all you would be an awesome bro. I just need to shout out you a mince and cheese pie.
Yeah, it's from New Zealand. You wouldn't know what he's
Yeah,
talking about. I'll take a lamb and mint, please, or a kumara pie. You don't know what we're talking about.
I have no fucking clue.
Kumara sweet potato. They got weird names for everything.
Okay, splash damage. 24 euros. Hi ho, greetings from German Bavaria. Great job of you and the communities. I hope the problem with Russia and KP of China gets solved quickly. Slava Ukraini, Ram Slava. I mean, I wouldn't count that China would be solved fast. Russia, it might vary. Like, I mean, let's put it this way. There is a possibility of Russia to be solving itself very, very fast. There's a potential for that, but we don't know. Like, we're not predicting future here. We're talking about stuff and enjoying our tea. Great job, you guys. Congrats on Sniffing Brigade Truck Fund. Thanks, Steven, and thanks for 25 bucks. Really appreciate it. Sorry, get to sleep. It wasn't me. He's a big supporter. Thanks so much for joining it up. Really
Thank you.
nice you dropping. You two are twitching like Max here. Okay, yes. Sorry for the technical troubles. This is the first ever kitchen stream at my place because like I'm not like in Ukraine, so people cannot just drop my place. So, but yeah, I was not expecting that it would be like this, and I was hoping that it would be okay. I think the transition from Ukraine back to Sverige was probably very hard. How do you manage the shift of priorities of the people around you?
Well, coming back to Sweden, um, I had to come back to deal with my immigration issues. I've not really been very open about that. They wanted to take my residency away for being away for so long. That's why I left Ukraine. I don't know how it bodes for my immigration case to be touring around for these events. I think we've made some traction. Okay, so coming to you was good. I don't mean it's very nice to meet you, but it's very effective for the cause. I've talked to various media outlets, some that I think maybe were helpful, maybe some not so helpful. There's been a big opportunity, me not being in Ukraine, doing things that I couldn't do in Ukraine. That gives me a sense of purpose because I've been gone a month now and I've done almost 20 different engagements. But it's very, very stressful. Now I have to use this calendar fucking thing on my phone to put in times and some of the people come from an academic world, which is not my world, and then they want to bring someone else into the meeting to consult them, so we have to reschedule it so we can see where the general mindset is going, where I just sooner pull the trigger and let God sort it out. And usually it works. I'm dealing with a new type of stress, and I have a lot more of that to do for the next month. So please God, does it? I get a sense that I'm doing something, but it's a different kind of something.
Yeah.
But that helps me cope. I'm happy to be with my dog. I'm happy to see friends again. There is a stress I'd like to talk about. A lot of people, when I say a lot of people, like maybe 10 people in Stockholm have sent me messages like they want to buy me a beer because I deserve it. Well, they don't follow my account because many times I say I'm in a 12-step program, so they're not interested in me. I don't drink. They want to buy me a burger because I deserve it, and then we can talk about Ukraine. Well, I really like you, Georgies, but we're doing work here.
Yeah, for sure.
We are doing work mixed with pleasure. If I have to meet people and tell them war stories, I should know you can keep your burger. I'll buy myself a coffee and should charge 100 euros. And I'll give that to hospitalers.
Yeah.
I've been paid for one event so far, 150 euros for an hour. They paid that to hospitalers.
Well, that's I think that's a good model. That's already a starting point for a gigolo career.
Yeah, well, that wasn't fun. That was the picture I showed you. Yeah. If anybody knows Tower Bridge, or foreigners call it London Bridge, I had to stand on a stairway down the Thames River at a certain angle, and they conduct the whole interview facing this beautiful, well, the most historic bridge in the world, for an hour and a half. But the tide was coming in, so I was about 2 feet deep in the water. No, I do struggle with it. People that I used to know, not friends in England, but people I liked, all of a sudden they want to meet me. They want to go to dinner with me and my friend. And then they want to ask me, what's the most horrific thing you've ever seen? And that hurts because the one gentleman I'm thinking about, I was good to him. I was good to his child, a boxing coach. I'm a good person to know, like well before the war. But
Yeah,
all of a
pretty
sudden,
decent. I enjoy it.
but all of a sudden now I'm a war hero, and now I'm more worth knowing. Certainly worth getting a social media picture with.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a long answer to it. But there's really good things. I'm doing good work, but I'm struggling with fake people. At least the professional journalist, we're 5 minutes of pleasantries, 10 minutes of pleasantries, but we know what it's about, and we're on our way.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part,
Yes.
especially because like your popularity like comes at a very, let's just say, how would I even put it, like a sensitive background. Like I don't know how to put it without being completely asshole. It's like, let's put it this way: the your popularity comes from things that should not have been the ones that give you the popularity. It's like, I'm pretty sure you would not want to be known for this, or maybe you would. I don't know.
There is some gratification in it, personally for me, and I was always the kind of guy that wore his heart on his sleeve, or would give you the shirt off his back. So a lot of people won't accept kindness, especially in the English world. It's like, no, this is mine, that is yours. Ukraine is more like, it's a poor country. More people tend to help each other. But I would help anybody. But a lot of people that know me in my life, now that I'm known for what I do, it's very gratifying that they know without a doubt I would give my shirt off my back,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So I was always trying to help whatever way I could before.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point. I see your point. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Peter, thanks for 200 Czech kronos. Really appreciate it. Gord Simonson actually donated his own drone to the front lines.
Well done.
So I believe it was Maxim Pasha that got his drone sent.
Very
Steven,
happy.
thanks again for 22 US dollars. Fin Run?
Finn Runway.
Fin Runway. Hi from Norway. Thanks for all the great work you guys are doing. Slava Ukraini. You're always welcome.
Thank you. I had a hot dog in the airport in Oslo. That won't quite pay for it. That's a joke, but
Yeah.
we're very grateful.
I am. Thanks for $100. Sending love and support for College Station, Texas. Gigam, Leaf Spring Army for sure. Steve Klein, thanks for 50 US bucks. It's not much, but use what you can for the most good. Thanks for keeping us updated with the shitty situation. Let's all hope for the victor today. Situation is awful. We're aware. Like Brandon is my perspective. Like is putting himself out there to the one of the most horrific experiences a human can even experience in their lifetimes, and because I've known war only from stories. Well, now obviously videos and like, experiences from my personal relatives, but I haven't been on the front lines. So for me, Brandon is doing an incredible job. So we should encourage and support that as much as we can. That's why I really want us to dedicate and help out Brandon with what he is trying to do with getting the night vision set up and so on. I think that would be the best thank you that we can give to him for sure. See the extra. Question for Brandon. There has been incredible innovation from Ukrainians during the invasion. Is there any instance of innovation that stands out in your experience? Oh,
Yeah, on medical side, so if anybody knows how an ultrasound works, or X-rays in principle, one of the most clever things I ever found was a magnet, and working on stabilization, they use quite large magnets to determine the point of shrapnel, and that's actually very old-fashioned.
yeah,
But nobody would use that in Western medicine. Probably nobody ever had to use that in Ukraine.
yeah,
And that was the first thing I ever seen. I thought that was very clever. Um, I mean, I've heard stories about how people rig things with the drones, but from a medical point of view, just something as simple as using like a kitchen magnet, to determine the points of shrapnel.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Probably not what you wanted to hear, but
Yeah, but like, but
it impressed me.
that's the innovation that actually works. You know, the small practical. Like, I
Mm.
think a lot of the people really undervalue the importance of smaller things. We discussed it today. You know, like when people try to focus a lot on the big important stuff, like, you know, let's get Ukraine some big drones, let's get Ukraine like some kind of a big expensive satellite network. When you're saying, like, for example, Rebecca is working on explaining situation, there is a lot of faulty tourniquets that are being
Mm.
sold in the West, that a lot of these tourniquets, they are, you know, like semi-fake or good enough for practice, for training, but not good enough for actual combat applications. And that actually, like, the cheap and good stuff can be produced by Ukrainians themselves.
Dnipro tourniquet.
Yeah,
You can Google Dnipro tourniquet. If you buy 100 or more, it's a pretty decent discount. So just Google Dnipro. I think Dnipro tourniquet's fantastic, $14 each.
yeah,
Sitch tourniquet, probably my preferred one, $20, whereas a cat one is 30 and 40.
yeah. So
You
it's like
know,
almost,
and you have to get it to Ukraine.
yeah, so almost two times cheaper, produced in Ukraine locally, and really for combat what needed. But that was just an example
Yes,
of
an
how,
industry that sprung up in Ukraine that will probably after the war be exported. Please God.
yeah. Um, Marv 2334, not much, but I wanted to ask, as someone with 3 years of medical school in the US, how can you volunteer, and if you should volunteer in hospitals?
Mm, currently, and for many months, unfortunately, we don't accept foreigners. If you showed up during the Battle of Kiev, it would have been quite different. But now we have quite a regimented training program, and there's just no capacity to do it in English. So I'm very sorry to say. Um, Anybody that ever writes me, how do I get to Ukraine or what I should do? I don't mean to sound cruel, but I think you should just come, and I would strongly encourage you to not write a volunteer. What's the best way to get there? But just to use your own resiliency, and your chances are 50-50 at finding some gainful employment, if you will.
Yeah,
But that same resiliency for people that will go into the unknown will probably lead them to succeed.
yeah. A question was before this: is Nika and was it Dima or Dmitry? Are they all right? How are they?
Yeah, I think the last text message I got from Nika was yesterday, and Dmitry hasn't replied today, but he's in Kiev, so he should be fine.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, people are quite invested in them.
I
Not
mean,
me.
you're a guy, and you have like a lot of natural charisma, which makes you really like to care and root for. And besides, the way you're explaining things is really nice, like
Hope
really,
so.
really relatable. Are you vaping? How long you've been vaping for? Or like, and yeah, people are sharing their experiences. What do you feel
Yeah.
about it?
Well, I started smoking at 8 years old, and I smoked pretty much continuously. 2012, I started vaping in Australia before it was cool. But then when I went to Ukraine, I thought it was all coming, I was going to die in a month or two, so I should just start smoking cigarettes again. I'm now back on the vape. I'm 50-50 cigarettes and vape. My smoking, for anyone who always tells me to stop smoking, in Ukraine, I smoked 7 cigarettes and 2 coffee to start my morning. Now I'm down to 1 coffee and 2 cigarettes. So that's something, isn't it?
That is nice. That's a good. That's a like a step-by-step improvement.
Yeah, yeah.
JC the Music Sense says, Brandon, hang in there, brother. You are the boots on the ground doing what many of us wish we were able to do. You have a lot of support behind you.
Thank
Love.
you. Thank you.
Hey, Brandon, I'm just glad you're alive and well. And as a dog father, it makes me happy seeing you with Masa. A slice of heaven from Rice Krispies beats a war story any day.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I've not seen Mossa now. I left on the 8th to go to England, and now I'm with you. And it's been one hell of a ride. But I have got to see a lot of friends and family in England. I actually booked a lot of my events kind of based around where I could see family and friends. So it was, I'll see. I'll see Massa again on the 24th.
Nice.
Yeah.
You or Brandon seen the interview Dmitra Komarov by channel Svit Navirot? Have you seen this interview by Dmitra Komarov?
I don't watch Ukraine content. It doesn't help me with my work, and it doesn't help me with my mental health. I've only ever watched 2 of your videos, no offense.
Oh, no offense
You know,
taken.
it's just too hard.
My offense, like, because like my videos are made for you guys, you know, that are following this war from there for one reason or another. You're following this war on YouTube. So my videos are not made for people at the front lines. That's why I'm very surprised that Starsky sometimes watches my videos. Because I think for him it's like almost not very informative.
It's watching the competition.
Yeah.
No, but like one thing I'd like people to understand, and it might seem very boring to you, but it's not to me. For example, we have a contested village around Avdiivka, and one night, for example, there were 3 Russian BMPs reported. So that's not dramatic for me, but I just have to plan another route. Maybe it's about 4K longer, but that's what my life is. It's not like deep state.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I look at deep state.
Yeah.
I more or less look at deep state when we were losing Soledar and Bakhmut, because some of those videos that have my better views, I waited many weeks for that. I waited until I watched until that map on deep state went, well, all of East Bakhmut was red. Then I felt free to upload that stuff.
Yeah.
That's my way of
I
responding.
mean, that makes sense. Also,
That's what I use
responsibility
deep
that
state
people
for.
take from the being
When the
front
lines
line.
are collapsing. That's what I use deep state for. What content can I upload and
You
when?
can also watch Max and Pasha on the Flashback, I believe, channel. They are on the front lines quite often, and they report, and maybe not always with videos, but they do have a very amazing community posts. So you can follow them just for the community post itself. Really
Their
good.
stuff is also more current than mine because a lot of my film, half of it might be driving, so it covers a lot of territory. So that's why I have to be more sensitive about what I upload.
Yeah, fair enough. Mr. Diggs, thanks for $5. Brandon, keep placing donation places you trust in all videos. Drones and vision equipment are needed for years from now. I found Terra Group a few weeks ago. Are Terra working around Bakhmut also?
I don't know.
I believe they were like south of Bakhmut somewhere.
I've never met them. It doesn't mean they're not doing anything or like, I don't know.
Terra is Abdullah and the other guys, is it not? I believe Terra is Abdullah.
I've heard of the name before, but I don't know. It's not like we don't know each other. Like somebody asking me to deliver food to Roman Truckemits once, like that's completely unrealistic. We don't. Oh, he's in the next town. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard to like describe for you guys. Like if you've never been to Ukraine, the scale of it is very hard to imagine. But Ukraine is massive. It's huge. It's like for us, like when we talk places on the front line, we talk like main points, or it's Bakhmut, or it's like this is this part, this part, this part. But the front line, like 1,200 kilometers, is like half of, or more than half of Europe. It is massive. Like to find like 2 people or like even groups and so on near each other is as actually an endeavor. That's just something to be aware of. Like Ukraine is massive. All right, let's see where Nika update. We already just talked about Nika. She's fine. Terra is actual Bakhmut area. Yes, I know that. North of Bakhmut, sorry, not south of Bakhmut. Yes.
I love comments. They'll let you know if you're wrong.
Yes. No. That's an agreement that we have. People always correct me because
sure, and I don't say that sarcastically.
Because sometimes they know that I speak from my ass, so they are helping me out. MST. I work as a trauma nurse now, specialized team of 5 years per shift, taking care of acute severe traumas from traffic, knife, bullet wounds, post-trauma bleeding, etc. Good for you.
Well done, Misty.
Well done.
Well done.
Okay, great streams. Thanks for Brandon. I have to go. Catch you all next time. Thanks, Lauren. See you next time. Yes. We actually had a very long day today. Guys, there will be video coming from on this channel with us discussing some of the stuff. There's going to be also content on the Brandon's channel from today's
Bit unorthodox for
yeah,
Georgie.
we're gonna have this stream for another like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap it up if that's okay with you, because that's going to be exactly an hour approximately. It's already quite late for us actually. Like, and Brandon needs to also spend some time with people that he cares.
Are we going to come out of the closet now, you and me, that we're actually a couple?
I thought we already with that, like people already guessed it, like that someone's like.
We've got to keep the illusion of single, though.
Yes.
You know, there's people
So
like
so
Sam
far,
in this chat
so
from New
far
Zealand.
we have this line in the middle, and we're like we agreed not to cross it. Maybe just a little bit. MST, I have PTSD since being deployed abroad 3 times. I appreciate Georgie's calming and positive streams. This war tore up a lot of wounds for many near Ukraine. That's fair. I am trying my best. You know, it's like this war is extremely painful, and like MST, this is not the only message that I get about people. Like, people actually message me and say, like, you know, you're the only channel that like not grieving on the war, like not like how do you say, like grief writing, like
Yes,
or gore writing, like, or like saying, you know, it's like and I appreciate those people. Like, those are the people that I'm doing this for. Like, the people that actually take their time to write me and say, it's like, thank you so much. I'm benefiting from your positive attitude. Then there are others that are saying, you know, like, how you can make fun, how can you make jokes? This is a war, and this is fair. But like, you don't have to watch my channel. This is YouTube. You know,
Sure.
different approaches and so on.
I
For
get
me,
that too.
for me, it is always like everything is very clear. There is a goal that we're working towards, right? We can take different paths. You know, it's about democracy. We have freedom of options. We have freedom to select how we want to reach certain goals and how we want to go about it. And this is how I am as a person. This is how I am generally. I cannot be long enough in the dark zone, in a negative, because otherwise you just start eating me alive. And I'm hoping that this can help other people also not to fall completely in depth into their negative, because once you start thinking about how many war crimes, how many just atrocious and awful things happening there, then like if you start doing this every day, you're gonna get burned out.
Not even on my radar.
Yeah, no, not for you. Like, I think you have the attitude that we need.
I get criticized a lot for, like I said, I'm a bit kinder to edit out other people's character flaws, but, you know, sometimes I'll make jokes. Like, there was a dead horse once in one of my videos. And I looked at the horse and I said, oh, why the long face? And somebody gets so upset at me. But at the end of the day, you know, I make a lot of jokes that seem funny to me, and that makes my day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people around me, they get a chuckle. But that's my life. I'm just documenting my life.
Yeah.
And I do it for a purpose. And it raises a lot of money.
I mean, it helps the cause.
Well, it's night vision and thermals now. I've learned things, and I've learned technical aspects of things that I probably shouldn't know.
Yeah.
That nobody should know.
Yeah. Also, guys, you might notice that stuttering has more or less subsided. And I want to make sure that you know that this was my fault from all along, because what I forgot to do is to plug in the cord of electricity in the power cord into the notebook. So my notebook was working on a power saving mode. So it was throttling.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, now I'm telling you. So
Plonker.
you can add this one to my guide of how microphones work. So there was this meme on my stream when someone says like, can you turn the microphone towards you? Because my microphone was like in a diagonally.
Yes.
But it was still towards my face, and I wanted to explain that like it doesn't matter if microphone is like upwards or if the microphone is like, you know, into my mouth or something, because it's still going. And
I,
as I moved the microphone towards me and started explaining, I accidentally pulled out a cord of the microphone, so the sound disappeared completely. And I was not reading chat back then, and so I was there explaining how microphone works for like 10 minutes straight, going on like really emotionally and
was
so on.
anybody still watching?
Yes, people were watching and they were having a blast. They were like, "Oh my God!" Like Georgie, the microphone technician. So and then they're like, finally, someone donated some money. So I got my notification on. Is like, by the way, it's like there's no sound, and that's when I
Bless
realized.
them, bless
So
them.
since then, they put me in as a technician role for that, and now I guess this will be an addition to that, the power manager, so to say, classic, just completely classic on the channel. Yeah, people are rolling around crying. Yes, as expected. Start again. Yes, for sure. Question. Dumb Trump, when you will raise all funds for all thermals optics, what can you see as important to fundraise for next?
Mm, I guess that will be revealed to me. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I didn't even know what an EcoFlow was, a power station. I heard of them, but until January, I never started looking to procure them. I didn't know till I knew. It seemed to me across the line, most people had a diesel generator. You know, there was still demand for them, but I had 22 on my last shipment. The last one was gone. It took 10 weeks because I don't just rock up a Kramatorsk, a Chudo market, supermarket and say I'm the king of generators.
Well, you should.
No, I shouldn't. That would be the worst thing to do in the world because everybody would need one. Um, how am I ever going to solve the problem? Night vision, I've used it in an M113 evacuation too. We brought 2 units out. I gave one away to 28th Brigade to Andre. I had 3, and we went out one night. Gunner killed 3, and the driver, well, we got 3 out. So that's very good. Those sets are still working. Um, we're never going to fix the problems. There's nothing we're going to fix in Ukraine. And it's not down to corruption. It's not down to, it will never be enough by government or by civilian donations, but we can make it a little bit better, a little bit better. So what will be after that? Nothing. Was it Dump Trump comments on all my things?
Yes.
One thing that I'll always be buying, and I never advertise it, but I probably bought no less than 20 tires throughout the war because people need tires all the time.
Yeah.
I buy tires for people. It's a really nice thing, a new set of tires. There's even, I don't know how effective they are, but there's the Alexander Usyk Foundation, heavyweight champion of the world. They subsidize tires for the army. I don't know exactly how it works. That doesn't sound very romantic, but that's one of the most important efforts in the war if you think about it. I've been through 4 tires once in a week. That's my record. I know people that have been through more, provided the vehicle survives.
Yeah.
So I'll continue to buy tires. I will continue to buy radios because the biggest thing we find with casualties, they always have the radio here. If you're in a trench, the mechanism of wound is usually from the junction above. And as I get more successful with thermals, we'll see how that goes. But I can't promise you. I'm buying 19 and 25 mil thermals now for AK application in a trench. But to equip a whole company with as many as possible, nobody's ever done that before. They always want to give to super duper special forces,
Yeah.
35, 50 mil thermals. I want to give them to regular soldiers and see how it helps stabilize the line. So you guys are essentially backing something that me and quite a few soldiers are really interested in, but we have no proof because nobody's ever fundraised on that platform. But I'm hoping that we're successful. I believe we will be. And I'm hoping that richer people with bigger pockets, if we're successful, that they'll take that on. Maybe not Joe Biden, but maybe a smaller government.
Yes.
Because how many thermals, cheap thermals for AK platforms can you buy for 1 HIMAR? But if it stabilizes a line, this is what I have to prove, and I believe it will work. Also, one thing I'm fundraising for, iron sight adjusters, the proper ones for the AKs. So many people don't have they're using it with multi-tools.
Yeah.
And you can break it, it can be inefficient. And also to buy laser bore sighters, so you can sight a rifle perfectly. I mean, this is a horrible thing. I don't even know if I should say this, but this is the truth. I would suspect 40% of the army, and especially the new conscripts, don't even have a sighted rifle.
Oh, wow.
So what are they shooting at? I shouldn't even say that.
Wow.
But laser bore sighters are cheap enough. You can buy them on Amazon in America. You can send them to me. You can send them to Oleg Forever on Instagram. He's doing that on range days all the time. He showed me where to get them. Just Google a 545 laser bore sight. It's like a bullet with a laser. You can sight a rifle super, super fast. If I was just to do that alone for the rest of the war and just to go around to forward ranges,
Yeah.
that would be enough of a contribution, and I could be busy. I'm talking out of my ass now, but there's always a need. There's never enough time for everything. But that's something I'm buying now, because I can buy 50 of those. Do you know what I mean? I can go sight rifles, then I can hand them out to this platoon, that platoon. Here's yours. That's a relatively cheap thing, but that's massive. That's massive.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Biden's. I'm not a politician. I take pride of only speaking about what I know about, and I'm not the most informed. But I've never seen on Joe Biden's shopping list the small things. I've seen HIMARS, I've seen artillery, I've seen Humvees, I've seen Bradleys, M113s that all of Europe. But I don't see the small things like that. There's no shortage in Ukraine of 7.62, 5.45, AKs, Soviet, my original armor plates. We've got so much of that stuff. But if you want the better stuff, I've never seen that on those aid lists. That's what comes down to the civilian effort.
Yeah, our stream is very much dying. It's incredibly bad. We're just gonna read a couple of these things, guys, and we're gonna wrap it up because it's like people are dying. They are saying we cannot. Thanks so much for everything, Aslang. Thank you so much as well. Baba Conway, good to see you. Would like to purchase tourniquets from Ukraine to supply them to Brandon. Would be nice, Baba. Like, absolutely appreciate it.
Dnipro tourniquets or Sich tourniquets. Google it.
Yeah,
Dnipro tourniquet has the most easy website to work.
Dnipro, Dnipro.
Yeah, Google Dnipro tourniquet. It'll come up pretty quick.
Oh, what? Suddenly, stream is excellent. What? How does this work?
Like, just roll with it, baby. Roll with it.
It's
We've
like
got a few minutes left.
as soon as I say our stream is dying, the connection is poor. People are like, video is fine, nothing wrong with the stream.
Right.
Sorry, guys. I'm like, Brandon will just tell you, confirm that. Like, I've been looking at the stream settings, like that. It's saying poor connection. There is not enough video, and so on. Okay, fuck it. Let's roll it up. Say thanks to more people, answer some more questions. There we go. I told you. Donna, LMAO at that horse joke. Your videos are hilarious.
It's just real life, Donna. Thank you.
Brandon's main talking points that I've learned are vision equipment, drones, have a good media officer equals glory to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's sad but true.
Okay, that's the chance. Tomorrow, another live with you and Brander under better tech conditions. We fixed our tech conditions. Tech conditions are excellent. People are saying there's still time. Guys, we can do this. Answer. You're forgiven. It's okay. Yes. Thank you. It's when people is like, stream is good. Okay, guys, don't tell me that the stream is good. I get it. Ask questions. Let's have the questions while Brandon is here. Before we wrap it up. Let's do last 10 minutes and well, or how many questions you will get. After Ukraine wins the war and kicks the occupiers, how difficult will it be for a US citizen to move to Ukraine, become a Ukraine citizen? Does Ukraine accept others like that?
Google is your friend.
Yeah, that's a very, very
not to be rude, but I'm not the Ministry of Information.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you for this supporting the less sexy that don't get too much attention. Thank you for this to to
You'd be
basically.
talking about you, not me.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Supporting me, the less sexy one.
Yeah,
Thank you,
we had a
Brandon.
talk about somebody who likes to work in selfie mode who's pretty sexy all the time
Yeah, we
today,
did.
didn't we?
We did. And there was a talk.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yes. The people are sending so much love to you. It's
I'm
crazy.
really grateful. I don't take it. I don't
Slava
take it for no.
Ukraini, John Dudonic. Yes. Sorry, no. I need to.
Is it liquidated?
John Dukieski. John Dukieski. I'm butchering this.
Could be Polish, could be Czech.
Maybe. Brendan, I'm Sweden as well. Well, we have another country joining to chat. Brendan, I'm in Sweden. I'm in Sweden as well. Your message about Aurora 23 and the fighter jets flying over, I had the same reactions.
Yeah, there was a low flying fighter jet, big military exercise going on in Sweden,
Yeah.
and that was my one quiet day at home with Mossa, and I had a little panic attack.
Yeah.
We don't hear much aircraft in Donbass, and when we do, it's usually really bad.
Oh, that's the great question probably to wrap it up. What we both do after the war is over. Excellent question, Gabriel. Very, very nice. Like unless Brendan just tells you what he will do and then that's it, then we cannot get another question that's going to be great to end the stream. But I think it has potential. So
What I want to do after
yeah,
the
what
war?
would you do after the war?
Okay, so if I were to survive the war completely, I'll have to talk to my own audience about this. Please God, I'm thinking maybe I would take, because I get a lot of donations, maybe I would take $10,000-$15,000, all honesty, and I would restart my life. And maybe over a period of, I don't know how long, I would pay that back to a Ukrainian charity. I would probably go back to my old job. Prior to going to Ukraine, I was just restarting my company. I was in the events industry because I lost all that in Corona. So I started that process in Sweden. I would eventually want to go back to the events industry. I'd like to have a family. I'd like to have some kids and enjoy Mossa's years. She's only 3. And I would like to be a boxing coach for amateur boxers. And then, as we talked earlier, probably maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years after the war, I'd like to write a book, a tell-all, and I would sell that for my own profit. Because I would like to have a mortgage sometime in my life. Well, who wants a mortgage?
Brendan wants a mortgage.
But we got to be realistic, you know. Maybe I could buy a house in the country in Sweden.
Yeah.
Because I'm already tired, but I want what everyone else wants. I want a family, and I never wanted kids till Mossa came in my life. That really softened me, and I see the value of children now because of the war. I think it's my duty to try to bring more good in the world, and I think I'd be a good dad. Yeah, be a boxing coach, help kids. If they become good boxers, gravy. Yeah.
Sounds like a like a career from like a good movie. It's like how to then live and so on. You also mentioned you want to do a book.
Yeah. So I never lie on my social media. I don't brag anything up. But there's some uncomfortable truths that I feel are best not to be shared now. There's a lot of good people in Ukraine. There's a lot of bad people, and I think everyone that supports us now knows this.
I think that's like something that everyone is they're aware.
Yeah, anybody intelligent.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't require.
But I would
I
would tell the whole story, but I wouldn't withhold truths. I would tell you about the good people. I would tell you about things that have been said in the news about certain things, either good or bad. But I would tell what I seen when I was there. I would also tell about who all the lying, thieving bastards were, mostly foreigners, who I met. Most of them are gone now. Most of them are gone from Ukraine. I would tell all the truth, but I don't pick fights with them because I think it does more harm than good. but most of the bad people are gone now, and it's up to you guys to judge yourself. Like, I don't say donate to me.
I say donate to Brandon.
No, but like, if you watch on social media, you're not stupid. Watch those people for a while. Watch me for a while. If you like what I do, then donate and support. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of self-promotion out there.
Yes. With that, Brandon, what says subscribe to my channel, support my channel.
Oh, I never, no, but do you know what? All my donation links are at the bottom of the description.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to do whatever the fuck you want. Sorry for swearing on your channel.
It's fine.
But I know I'm one of the few volunteers. I'm one of the more prominent ones for donations. But the more I document what I do, the more support I get. And every month, my support's actually slightly increasing. Whereas I know most volunteers, that's not the case. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I do care. I do care. I'm working my ass off every fucking day. But it's support if you want to support. And you're not stupid. Just watch the habit of those people online, and usually it's only a matter of time till they get figured out anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, plus on everything. Support Brandon, support Brandon on buying coffee. Ali's just shared all of the links and credentials for PayPal as well. Guys, we're gonna talk more about the thermals initiative. We're gonna continue it on this channel, so we're gonna make sure that Brandon gets what he needs. We're gonna work to support him, to support all the other people that are doing really good stuff on Ukrainian border. We are at the back line, we are the back line of this war, and this is the job that we need to do. If we can support financially, we'll do it financially. If we can do it by putting a pressure on our politicians, we'll do it this way. But we will not stop until full victory. Slava Ukraini, guys. Love you all.
Thank you very much for your support. And just a quickie, I've already filmed and documented Starsky's toilet at Futch's house. That was on my Instagram. But on my video that I will be uploading today with your interview,
Yes.
but our supermarket tour here in Denmark, you're also going to see Dumping with the Stars. So I've documented Georgie's house and his toilet, and everything's actually clean in order. But you can actually see how real life YouTube stars take a dump. Not actually you taking one, but where it is.
You can imagine that.
So I'm going to try to document more famous YouTubers. Jake Bro has only agreed to do live stream, not
live stream.
Maybe he's hiding something.
Okay. Tell us in the comments to this video, what is Jake Bro hiding?
He's hiding his toilet from me.
Yes. Why is Jake hiding the toilet from Batman? Thanks all, guys. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming, Brandon.
And thank you very much to Ali for all your efforts for helping make this happen tonight.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.